Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. I see a couple people have popped in, so good to see you. Joel, good to see you. Marilee, Mischief, of course. Yeah, this is kind of a strange time of day, and then plus it's the only one of the live, like, members only kind of things I've ever done. But I thought, well, we'll try it out, and this is like a good, like, let's try it and see how it works kind of deal. So, um, anyway, in just a minute, I'm going to introduce my, hey, Constance. I'm going to introduce the mods that were able to make it here today. I see a couple of them are actually in the chat because they um, had issues with their internet and stuff, and so they couldn't seem to get on the live stream. But that's okay. Cooler by the Lake, good to see you too, y'all. You're gonna know why I laugh, because I'm telling you, whenever you get to actually just hear my mods carry on with each other, you're gonna know how we spend all of our day. We're just back and forth all day and all night. So, anyway, without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop them up here. And we don't have um like a I don't have a single note. I don't have anything with me. Nothing. I have a little notepad in case I want to write something down, but I don't have anything written on it yet. So, Cooler by the Lake, thank you for being a member, by the way, and Joel too, and Constance June, thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead, and it'll just take me a minute, but I'm going to get them popped up on here, and we're just going to just see what we come up with, y'all. We're going to see how it is. So, whoops. There's Marilee and Nicole and Stay Spirit. And now, who is that?
Oh, hello. Hello. I'm so sorry. The Hef could not make it today, so she sent Hef's googly-eyed hoo-ha is who I am. So I just wanted to come on today for a little bit to just talk to you, say hello, introduce myself. Thank you for all the support you've given Hef's googly-eyed hoo-ha. I really appreciate it. She's a lovely person. Um, People think that she's really deep thinker. But that's the only thing she's deep with because the googly eye hoo-ha is very shallow. It's a shallow hoo-ha. No
Hello.
problem there. So she don't let me come out very often. I'm so sorry, but she's coming in the door now. If you just excuse me, I'll put her on. Ta.
I told you.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure that's.
Did she talk bad about me? Did she say nice things?
No, she talked bad about herself. She said she was shallow.
Well, I would hope she'd be shallow and like the hallway with the hot dog.
Yeah.
So, I'm proud of that.
Shame
It's
on
fun.
you.
It's over. I'll behave now, I swear.
No, you won't.
No, I will. Oh my God, I forgot to put a nose
Oh.
ring in. I feel naked without my nose ring. Oh well.
I don't believe her when she says she's gonna behave.
I don't either.
I mean,
I don't believe any of you. Hey, Marilee, how you
Oh
doing?
shit.
Can you hear me?
What'd you say, Marilee?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay.
You're
What's
not very
going on?
loud, but I can hear you. Yeah.
Half that was insane.
I'm technologically challenged. So bad. Okay. All right. Somebody else talk.
I
So
just have
everybody
to
kind of
figure
introduce
out my
yourself.
microphone.
You sound good now. You sound real good right now.
Hi,
So,
everybody.
Marilee, won't you introduce yourself? Yeah.
Okay, I'm Marilee, and I mod for Susie because Susie's the best, and I live in Vancouver, and I have 3 kids and 5 grandkids, and I live in a house with my son, daughter-in-law, 2 grandkids, and who we all call the chef, my husband. And he knows I'm on camera, so he's not even going to set foot in the room.
Marilee, you look beautiful today, darling. I just wanted to tell you.
She does.
Thanks. I actually put on
Very
makeup for the first time in a really long time.
Yeah. You look very classy, like old Hollywood, you know? Seriously, like
Mhm.
I don't know, like Audrey Hepburn, that
I
type
did
of
put
era,
on
don't you think?
shade.
Like she's younger than that, but she looks like, you know, that era.
I'm 73, I think.
Every once in a while I have to ask my daughters, I'm like, how old am I?
Mischief says
I'll
I
think
live
I
in
know,
North
but
Van. I live in Vancouver, not North Van.
oh.
Why can't I see the chat? What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. Can everybody else see it?
I'm
No,
on my tablet
Why?
and on my laptop. So I've got the tablet for the chat so I can see it.
that's what I'm doing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing too. Dang it.
So Nicole,
Oh,
I should have
introduce
noticed too.
introduce yourself to us a little bit, Nicole. Just
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Nicole. I live in South Florida. I am a disability advocate. I'm an author of a poetry book. I'm a published writer. And I just did my exercises for the day before coming on. Did a little bit of indoor
Good.
walking and lower body with weights. So I'm here and I'm very honored to be a new mod for Susie and be a part of this group. And I look forward to getting to learning about everybody. And it's been fun so far. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Hef. Who you introducing? You or or googly eyes?
That's
Or
too
a
hard.
bit of both?
Yeah, she left. She's taking a chill pill. I am the head, formerly the inappropriate heifer. Um, shit, I don't know. I got 3 kids, 2 granddaughters, a dog, and a lizard. Little beardy over there. I don't know. I'm gonna marry Alan. And
I know we're all jealous. we want like to clone him
Clone
a
him.
bunch.
do what?
And we want to clone Alan, make a whole bunch more of him. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's adorable and smart and sweet and cute, and I mean,
Yeah. He's a sweetheart.
Good guy. Real good guy.
Yeah.
My husband's a lot like
I'm always telling. Yeah, mine is too. He just, I don't know. I like to tease him about Alan though.
But a bunch of his brothers aren't.
Really? What about you, Stace? What about you? She doesn't even know who she is, y'all.
Oh God, I can't hear her.
I can't hear her either. We can't hear you.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
I can't hear her. That's bizarre. It's not muted on my end for her. So.
How about now?
Yep.
Yeah.
How you doing?
There we go. It doesn't like the headphones. That's what it is. So yeah,
Nicole,
I'm
before-
Stacey. You see me in like masses. I fight with George all the time.
Yes. I get
And
the
that's my
biggest kick
speaking
out of that.
That's what British best friends do. If you're not tearing each other to shreds, you don't actually like each other.
Yeah, that's true. Aw. So where do you live at exactly? Or not exactly, but you know what I mean.
I'm in Hertfordshire in England, so it's like southeast near London.
Uh-huh. Okay. Sounds great. I'd like to go there. My husband has been all over England. He's been all around. He loves it, and he loves Germany and France and everything, and I've never, except for one time, went to Canada. I've never left the country, so
Oh, it's time to
I
start
don't know.
traveling then.
Yeah. Well, he's getting ready to retire, I think, at the end of the year, and so then we'll be doing a lot of traveling, which will be fun with YouTube and everything because I can do things from the road easily, you know? So that'll be good, even if it's just videos, but I'll be able to do something. I mean, people's on YouTube all over, so that'll be fun. I'm just excited. I keep watching over to see who else coming in. Of course, it says that we have 0 people in here, and I'm looking at far more than 0 people.
It's been doing that the last couple days, I noticed.
I
It'll
know
YouTube is
it, and
weird.
then I know it. It is getting on my nerves. And StreamYard, I don't know. I've looked at some of the other programs to be able to do this, but I don't like them either. But
Mm.
StreamYard's gotta quit raising their price. They just got to quit. Like, it's 80 something dollars a month now, and that's just getting outrageous.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Susie, you might want to look
Yeah.
into Riverside because a friend of mine who has, I think now he has 2 podcasts. He's the one who I spoke to after I spoke to you when
Yeah.
we had our chat, and he's recommending Riverside. That's what he uses.
Wow, I'll have to look into it. I have never heard of that one. So,
I've used that for interviews for horror film stuff. It's pretty good.
yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. There's some new stuff coming up this week. I've got a couple interviews I'm real excited about. For one, I'm gonna have Lord Kiss Freak on. So I think
Hey.
that's gonna be excited. Yeah, I'm excited about that. He's gonna be on Thursday night. Uh, we had to figure out with his scheduling and everything. So, but yeah, he's gonna be on Thursday night, and I think about 7 Central Time. So
Aren't you doing the
anyway,
fundraiser the same day
It's it.
too?
yes, yes, I am. Yeah, the fundraiser, and that is another thing that I wanted to mention while people are here. On Thursday, we are having what's being called a hand up, not a handout fundraiser for our very own Mischief Managed. And y'all, every once in a while, I guarantee that everyone here has had a rough go of it for a little bit, and they have just really had kind of a rough go of it with their health and everything. And you know how fast things can go from okay to not. And so we just kind of wanted to just give her a little bit of a helping hand and get them kind of leveled back out so they can move on from there, because sometimes that's what it takes, is just to level back out and kind of get on a you know where it's not like feeling like it's all sinking into the into the dirt, because it can be just so scary, and you just can't concentrate and can't even think of what to do. So, that's what we're doing, and we do have her PayPal is supposedly, I think, running across the bottom of the screen, and, so if anybody wants to give a donation to that PayPal, please do. We will also be going live on Thursday, and we're gonna have a lot of people. I know that we've got Sammy's coming on, Marilyn's coming on, Cheryl's coming on. Any of my mods that can make it will come on. Um, I've got a lot of other people that they've said yes, and they're just waiting for me to have told them the time. And then I've got back to them, but they haven't got back to me. It's a weekend. So, Sammy was supposed to be taking the weekend off and he didn't. So,
Susie, in case people ask, for people who don't have PayPal, what are you suggesting that they do?
well, I'm trying to figure that out. But we're going to figure it out somehow. It may even be a deal where you can super chat me or something, and I'll give it to her. Um
Okay.
we'll figure something out. I'm hoping between now and Thursday. Thanks for reminding me, because that's something. Let me write that down. I've
Well,
been
you
telling
helped
myself, but
me,
how
so
it
I
is.
thought if people
Yeah.
somehow run into that same weird problem that I had, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where I've never ever in like 25 years had a problem sending
Yeah.
money to anybody on
Well,
PayPal, and the one time I'm like, let me do
yeah.
it, my
Yeah.
friend, like.
Well, I sent mine and told you, well, it went through for me, and so then you sent me yours, and then I was sending it to her because it went through when you sent it to me. But then when I went to send yours, it wouldn't do it, for it would just lock up. It didn't tell me it wouldn't do it. It just would lock up. But then it did. And so then that's when I went and told you that, okay, it went through. Yeah. So, yeah, I got that one to her too. And I know that several people have messaged me since then because they knew that we were having issues and have told me that they got theirs through. So I'm glad.
Oh,
Y'all,
good.
every little bit helps. I mean,
Yeah.
Mischief never asks for anything, never. And she is there for everybody. And so if anybody,
And
seriously,
she's always
any
there for
super chats
everybody.
that I do get on Thursday will be going to her. So, you can put on there that you want it to go to her, but it's going to anyway. And so tell everybody that too, so if you, talk to anybody out and about, tell them to come on because if they can't do PayPal, now I'd rather them do PayPal because it goes to her directly. But if they can't do PayPal, then I will handle it through super chats if we can't find another way. But for sure, it'll get to her. That's one of
And
those, I
please share
swear.
this out also. Please share this
Yeah.
stream and also
Yeah, please
please
share the
use
stream.
it a community post. And so I shared that on both of my channels. I really don't have anybody I don't think that pays attention to my channels except you guys now. You guys have been so nice to subscribe. Thank you. But you never know who's gonna come across what you share, and
Absolutely.
somebody might
Absolutely.
they might know Susie too and say, wait a minute, I know Susie, what is she doing?
Mhm.
Is she trying to help? And so
Yeah,
it'll
you
just
never
kind of
know.
like a domino effect.
Mhm. And plus, any of the creators that are coming on, if they wanna share it on Thursday, if they wanna share it to their channels, because that just opens it up to more people. Because just because they're on my channel doesn't mean that all their audience will come to my channel. So if they go ahead and share it to theirs, then that's more people. That's, potentially more people seeing it, potentially more people donating. And I know Mischief is just sitting there just like, "Oh, shut
Yeah,
up."
and
She's
I'm gonna
just
embarrass her too because since she's not on the
Yeah.
stream, Susie, can you tell us? I mean, I'm new, so you guys all know her. Can you tell me and the audience who might not know who she is a little bit about her?
Well, I'm trying to think of what she would mind me telling.
Well, we know she's causes trouble because of her name, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. I will tell
I
you
mean, you
this
can say
much.
what you want. She can't speak back right now.
I
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't look
But
at her
she
in the chat.
does.
I'm gonna
She
check the
does
chat.
have the ability.
She's gonna block
She does.
me.
Yeah, she'll block you, but she does have the ability to go in the background and cut the feed completely.
Don't do
It's
it, Nance,
allowing her
please.
Oh no,
to.
I think she's doing it.
Yeah, she might be. It
we'll
does
just tell
allow
her
her to
that
be on for about.
Emma got out of control and she'll just pull the
Yeah,
plug.
yeah, because
I
her.
know that Mischief lives on an island.
Yeah, yeah, Barely. You've
Okay.
known her longer than me. Won't you tell a little bit about her, and then I'll fill in too.
I don't want to tell her anything that she doesn't want you to. She's shutting me off.
Mm,
Well, I just want people to know that if they don't know any of us, she's a real person that we're trying to help.
yeah,
This
she's
isn't,
married.
this isn't a joke.
She's
Oh no, here she's
she's married.
commenting.
She's got. Is she coming?
No, she's commenting. So, I guess can I
Okay,
read
so
what
here
she
she
said?
says.
Or
Yeah,
Susie,
Nicole,
you want
won't
to
you
read
read
it?
it? I'll put it up on the top, and you can read it, Nicole.
Oh, okay. I don't. She says, "Here's the deal, guys. My hubby, who is retired USMC, he's
Marine
been
Corps.
driving a Marine Corps. He's been driving a truck for 20 years and had a bad dizzy spell while driving. He's been out of work for over 2 months, and things got bad fast. Wow."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is 62, and her birthday is in 2 days. So.
Happy birthday early! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, what we're doing and what
Or the day before.
creators are doing, we'll get to help her a little bit and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I cut somebody off. Who was that?
I mean, I'll just say this is someone who is our actual friend that we have contact with, and many people do.
Yeah.
And she has been very supportive to me and Alan through all of this. And I just really want to make sure, like Nicole said, this is a real person in need. Okay, there's no fakery, there's no manipulation. These things are okay to do for your friends, for people who really do honestly have fallen on bad times and need help. This is where your money should go, to
Yes,
these type of things. So
absolutely.
if anybody out there, I mean, I think you all know who I'm talking about and why, but I want you guys to really think about that when there's really truly people in need, and and your
Exactly.
money could go to something so much better. Um, Super chat, support your creators, definitely. I have no issue with that, but I just want people to really keep that in mind. Especially, there's several YouTube channels that do it, because it's just human nature. It's going to happen. They're going to get that money bug and do things, do anything for it. But anyway, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that she
No, 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 no.
really where um, money should be going, is to help people like Mischief. And
because she's someone who's
Absolutely.
who would never ask for it from what I know.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
Susie has the heart of the
Oh,
size of
Joel.
Texas, and she just boom, bing, bang, boom. This thing was off and running, and here we are.
And Joel asked if we can start today. If we super chat, will you send it to her? Yes, I will. So if anybody wants to super chat today for Mischief, go ahead. I will keep a running total of it, and I will absolutely get it to her. So that'll just, I mean, anything we can do, y'all. I am like all about it. Whatever we can do, I'm here. Thank you, Joel. Very,
Thank you,
very
Joel.
much. I'm gonna write that
Thanks,
down.
Joel.
That is so sweet. And he says, let's help our friend. Always good to us all. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally is.
So yes, that will go to her. I promise. So, and I'm
And
even
we're
going to
so
eat
much
the
Filter in the
more.
comments
40%.
here.
So, yeah.
We're so
So
much
I'll
more
be
mellow
how
and
do people leave super chats and do all that? Because sometimes when I'm in a chat, someone will say, well, they don't know how to do it, or they can't see it. And I think it's different on different devices, right?
yeah.
Think
Yeah.
so.
can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Sort of.
Somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I know on my iPad, it's at the bottom, that little it looks like a dollar sign type of thing.
Yeah. That's how
Yeah.
mine is.
For my tablet.
Dollar sign.
Android.
So,
Bar.
Yeah. So in case anybody doesn't know, that's the button that you would push if you want to use.
Yeah.
I always
The
get
little
confused
dollar
between
sign.
super chat and the other super sticker. I don't
Super
know the
sticker.
difference
Super sticker is
between.
just if you don't say something, you just send like a little picture that they
Yeah.
have. But super chat's when you say something.
Marilyn's made a really good point. PayPal only takes 2.8% of what you give. YouTube takes 30%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I would prefer they do PayPal, but if
Right.
it's gonna prevent
Mm.
somebody donating, then
Yeah.
I'll do it. You know,
And make sure for
I'll
people, if you're on PayPal, make sure you check the friends and family option, because then there's no fees that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Mischief, I keep missing what she said. Hold on, I'm gonna back up because I saw another one that she had written.
Yeah, she said a few things. She's being
Yeah.
nice to her.
Hi,
Thank you.
Alan.
I
Hi,
have 3
Alan.
daughters. She has 3 daughters born in 84, 86, and 95. I lost my oldest daughter in 2007 when she was 23. I haven't worked since. She was telling me that story. She actually was going to go on the truck with her husband, and she, went and got her license and did all the testing and the training and everything, and got her license to do it. And then her daughter passed suddenly. And she has had so much anxiety issues and everything. And I'm sure, because you know how the mind messes with you, and probably the thought of going on the truck, because that's what she was trying to do. It probably is all one big glob at this point with her anxiety, and it just, I don't know, it just breaks me for her.
How did y'all meet her?
I just met her on here, on not here, but on YouTube, just on different people's
Yeah.
lives. I would be on different people's lives, and she was on a lot of them, and I was going through chemo, so I was on a lot. I was just like watching stuff because I might take a nap and nap an hour or 2 hours here and be awake for 6 or 8 hours, or I might be asleep for 6 or 8 hours and then be awake for 2 or 3 hours. And so I was real sporadic, and I would just be on different people, whoever happened to be going live at the moment, and she would be on there, and, we just kept seeing each other. And so, I don't know, I just always thought she just seemed so awesome. And so I was like, "Hey, you wanna be a mod?" And then I think almost immediately, I was like, "Hey, you wanna be what I'm calling my super mod and go in the back office?" And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So anyway, she says, "I worked odd jobs, but mostly stayed at home with my kids. I was very fortunate to be able to be a present mom who got to do all the school programs and field trips." That is so great. That is amazing. Hey, Alan, so good to see you. Uh,
Hi,
yeah,
baby.
there's not like an actual link, Joel, but it's just Mischief Managed 444. And if you go to PayPal, you can punch that in and it'll bring up her little picture and everything, and you'll know that it's her. And I mean, you can try it that way too. But anybody that's listening, I was just answering Joel specifically. But yeah, it's really not hard. If you have PayPal, just go to the, what is it, send and receive, I think, or I think it's called
Yeah.
send and receive,
Yeah.
and hit send, and then it's just, she makes it very easy because it's just Mischief Managed 444. So um
Yeah,
I
I
had
met her
more trouble
through.
signing in, so what was it?
And I've met her on Poe's channel, and we have exchanged cell phone numbers, and we text back and forth with each other. We message each other almost every day. Mischief is my sister from another
Mhm.
Mister.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She is mine too. I told Sammy yesterday, I said, "She is literally my very best friend." And he was like, "Whoa, wow, that's a big deal. That's high praise kind of deal." I'm like, "Yes, it is." So, in fact, Sammy is talking about maybe doing like some kind of a marathon live. I don't know if he's going to or not, but he was saying that, he'll go on as long as people want to go on and do one and take donations for Mischief too through PayPal. He had a little bit of a I won't go into it, but he had a little bit of an issue with somebody and and him taking the money and blah blah. It was a mess. So anyway, let's just he doesn't want to get involved on the "I'll take the money and give it to somebody" kind of. I don't blame him. I'm just like, I don't blame him.
We don't
Yeah.
want to
Twice
cause
shy.
we don't
Yeah.
want to cause any trouble where we would need Mischief Managed to get in between and
Or she'd have to mod her own her own,
her own fundraiser. Oh.
uh, yeah, I agree with what she whoops, sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. Gosh, I promise I'll get your stuff up there. Although not having a career bites you in the butt eventually. Oh, I qualify for zero Social Security. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just,
It's different in Canada. My mom was entitled to old age pension here,
mhm,
so she had, even though she had only worked during the war,
yeah.
the
It just
second
seems
war.
like that we do that. Yeah. It just seems like that I don't know. I don't think we do our senior citizens right, and I'm really getting more concerned with it the closer to, technically, I guess I am a senior citizen, and that's fine with me, but I don't think that we do. I don't think we do right by them.
Oh
Just
no, I agree.
Not in this country, no. Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
I get angry. I get upset.
Mm,
That's the one thing that I'll always fight for: the elderly, military, my friends and children. Everybody else
yeah,
can just fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, right?
So, Stace, how did you meet Mischief?
It was in one of the chats. I think it might have been Aaron's or even Marilyn's.
Uh-huh.
That was ages ago, and we just hit it off, and then I ended up being a mod for Maz, and now we talk every day.
Yeah.
Usually
just a
me
good
telling her to go to
person.
bed, because if I'm awake,
Yeah.
she should be asleep.
Same with Marilee. Marilee's kind of trying to be a dirty stay up a lot.
Yes, she is.
You're always telling her to go to
I'm the
sleep.
worst.
I wake up in the middle of the
I'm
night and I can't go back to sleep. Like I'll get up to go to the bathroom and then I'll be up for an hour. And so people will be like, "Why are you up?" And I say, "I'll be back asleep in a minute. I had to go to the bathroom."
Yeah, if I'm drinking my
So,
morning coffee, you're all meant to be asleep. I know that.
yes. Yeah.
I'm never. I'm always on.
Yeah,
I'm
I
on a
know.
full
When
time.
do you
So,
sleep?
I fall asleep probably about 7 o'clock in the morning, and then wake up. Sometimes I sleep 4 hours. Sometimes 3 hours, and sometimes 8 hours. It just depends. I mean, I know like sleep, like having that schedule, I have to get up for appointments and all things like that. So it's honestly erratic. If I take a nap, that means I'm going to not fall asleep until 10 o'clock in the morning, and it just screws everything up. Alan and I have a schedule. We talk until
Well,
he goes to bed, okay? And then we both sleep, and then he calls me for about an hour or so in the morning before he goes to work. And then when he gets off work, we talk all night. We're on video chat all night. Even if I'll be doing my own thing, playing a game, watching a documentary. He'll be doing his thing with playing his, I don't know what he's got, Xbox or something. And but we're just together. You know what I mean? We're on screen. If we need to say something to each other, we do. If we don't, we just sit in silence and do our, and play
yeah,
our, to do whatever. We just
but you're
want that
kind of
like,
there.
yeah, it's kind of like what we would be doing if we were physically together. You know what I mean? Except we'll actually get to watch the same thing on TV. But you know, so yeah, I sleep erratic hours with all the doctor's appointments I have, all the specialists I go
Yeah.
to. It makes it crazy, but I do it.
And what's the time
What
difference? Like, how many hours is it difference between you and
Um,
Alan?
don't make me do math. I'm high.
Oh, I
Um,
don't like that either. I know.
The answer is too
he,
many.
he
Yeah.
is okay. So like right now it's 3:35. It's 5:35 in the morning for him.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Is that right? Because
And
I'm
he's in. Is it Australia where he is?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow, that's so crazy.
I sleep 10, 11 hours frequently with
Really?
my sleep
I wish
disorders
I
and
could.
everything else. I can't even wake up
Mhm.
sometimes.
I have
Wow.
those days too though. Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you
I
mean.
do
And
too.
I wear a CPAP as well. And
Yep.
yeah, I do too. I'm in there. Listen. When all the makeup comes off, the hair, the teeth comes out, the CPAP goes on. I don't know how in the hell that anybody could sleep in a bed with me, roll over and look at that. But yeah. So my
Oh,
sleep varies too, but I cannot sleep without that. What's a BiPAP actually, which is worse than a CPAP. BiPAP
really?
BiPAP blows
Yep.
air in and pulls it back out. It's almost like a life
Ooh,
support. It really does. It's weird.
really?
Yeah, because
Wow.
yeah, it's a long story of why everything got so messed up to needing that, but it's to do with before surgery. I stomach acid and eroded everything. It's a long story,
Mm,
but yeah, that's the only reason I really I have to have it during the night.
goodness.
I don't know.
I started taking CBD and combination of it has THC and CBD and I think melatonin for sleep because
Mhm.
I'll be 52 shortly in June, but maybe I don't know. A few years ago, I started having trouble sleeping, and I don't have those issues. But as you get
Huh.
older and hormonal shifts and stuff, like I would just wake up in the middle of the night, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. So I tried a few companies, but the one and thanks to Facebook ads, by the way, you know how sometimes you get sucked into those ads and you're
Yeah.
like, no, never again. I'm not gonna try, because they'll do a thing where you could get I don't know, like 20 of them for $10 or something. Like they're just giving you an introductory offer. And finally, like the company that I'm with now, I mean, I think it's the best, that I've tried. And so if there's anybody out there who has trouble sleeping, that might be an option for you too. But it's just kind of weird when all of a sudden you don't something you've never had a problem with, and then you have a problem, because you all know if you don't sleep, I mean, it can really do a number on you.
Yeah, I've had insomnia since I was a kid, and come to find out, I was late diagnosed in adulthood within the past year with ADHD, which I kind of already knew that, but there was that official diagnosis. But I've gone through almost everything you could think about to sleep, like every sleeping pill, every whatever. Finally, I had a doctor prescribe me Doxepin, and she said she started it out, I think, at like maybe, I don't know, 50, 75, and upped it to where I take 150 milligrams of it now. Knocks me out perfect. Now, what she told me was, because I told her, I said, you don't, medicines affect my body different than others. I had a whole DNA thing done about it. And I said, you need a lot to knock me out. She's like, well, this is what we give the prisoners in jail so they could go to sleep because of the lights and everything. She's like, so it's strong. It's going to knock you out. That was just with the lowest milligram. And I kept saying, give me more. And then finally I found that it was like perfect milligram right there. Plus I have, well, of course, obviously I'm stoned, so I got the whole weed thing down, and I use melatonin too. So, yeah, but it takes a lot to knock me out if I really want to go to sleep. It was the same in like surgeries when they go to put you under. I've woken up in the middle of so many surgeries and procedures and like yelling at the doctor, I told you you're going to have to keep it high, keep that dose high and continuous. I mean, I've woken up in excruciating pain. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I digress.
Wow.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, sleep. So that's what usually knocks me out because I sleep during the day, and I will put an entire pillow on top of my head when I sleep. Keeps the light out, everything else. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
multiple
I was
sleep.
sleeping a lot more, but now my puppy keeps me awake in the daytime.
I gotta tell you a story real quick. I guess my TJ's mom is staying here with us for a while right now, and she's sleeping on the futon right across from I got a day bed now, and because I sleep in the living room obviously because it's a 1-bedroom apartment. TJ's got that. Anywho, I guess I was sleeping, had my mask on, and I had the big pillow. It's a big pillow over my head. And I didn't wake up when they both got up to get ready to leave. When they came back, they're like, just thought I would tell you that while you were asleep with the pillow on top of your head, Sadie was literally, my little hef, laying on the pillow that was laying on my face. And just comfortable as hell, sleeping away. I was like, oh my God, why don't you take a picture of that? That would have been brilliant. But yeah, it cracked me up. I was like, that sounds like her. She invades my personal space. She's beside me now, but anyway, sorry.
Oh,
But
my little puppy
Several
Mags,
sleep-
she is such a pain. I'll be laying on my side watching movies on my iPad. Well, the other morning, I was watching videos and I fell back asleep, but I had my arm like this and I was holding my coffee cup, but I'm kind of, laying down. I would just my head was propped up and I'd get a drink. But anyway, so I fell asleep. And what woke me up was this little dog buries up against my shoulder up here, and she gets her head down here, and I felt her keep moving further and further down. Pretty soon, she was licking up my coffee. She was drinking the coffee.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh no!"
that's okay. I had a little bit of gummy residue on my fingers, like weed gummies, the other night, and I let little Hef lick my finger. See, she did nothing to her. I was like, she's 4 pounds, and it was just a tiny bit of residue. And I was like, this bitch is gonna sleep hard tonight. I don't even think it affected her.
Marilee's just sitting there being all nice and classy, and we're acting
Well,
silly.
I don't want to interrupt anybody. I've got several sleep disorders, and one of them is quite uncommon. It's called REM behavioral disorder, and it can
I've
be
actually heard of that.
it can be a precursor to Parkinson's. When I was first diagnosed, they said there was a 32% chance that I would develop Parkinson's, but over the years, the statistics changed. And after about 10 years, they said, well, there's a 78% chance now. So I
Wow.
was seeing a neurologist every other year, and the last time he saw me was 4 or 5 years ago, and he said, "Well, I can tell you right now, you're never going to develop Parkinson's." And they figured that my REM behavioral disorder is because I have CPTSD, which I was never diagnosed with until a year ago. And my sleep disorders doctor, who's a psychiatrist, said that she estimates that I've had the CPTSD since I was in, and the REM behavioral disorder since I was in my early 20s. So I'm 73 now, so that's 50 years of not sleeping
Wow.
normally.
Wow.
I beat
It is
people.
normal by
Just
this point, isn't it?
I used
Yeah,
to
for you.
people,
Yeah, for
to
you.
punch people in my sleep, literally.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
literally hit people in my sleep. I would wake up with bruised knuckles, and
wow.
now I just dream that I'm hitting people. I don't actually hit anybody, but the most recent one was I punched Elon Musk in the face, and that felt really good.
Oh, no, that'd be fun. Yes.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
oh man.
I wonder if I like went to sleep thinking, punch him in the face, punch him in the face. If I would dream that tonight, because that would be so satisfying.
We should all give that a shot. Just see if it works.
Yeah, I might
I
do
was
Yeah,
that,
you
you
can
know?
always get a cardboard cutout of him, and you could just
You always
Put it on
plant
one
the
of the
seed.
those little bags that you punch, those punching bags.
get you a peanut. Put the cutout picture of his face on the peanut, and just go at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh, I do one weird thing when I'm asleep or when I'm like almost asleep. I'm not like in deep sleep, but I'm, pretty much asleep. And that is I speak Spanish. Problem being, I don't really know Spanish.
I'll start
I don't know
speaking
what it
about
is.
it now.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I grew up with a very Hispanic, in a very Hispanic area with most of my friends were Hispanic and everything. And back then, I could, pick my way through a conversation pretty good, but not now. But my husband said that I will just start like usually cussing, but I will, start speaking Spanish and he has no idea what I'm saying. And I said, who knows if it's even words? I mean, it could be like gobbledygook for all I know. But he goes, well, it sounds very Spanish. So I don't know. It's just strange. I
I
don't know.
yell and swear at people in my sleep all the time.
Yeah,
Nobody can
I oh, no, go
sleep in the
ahead.
same room as me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
was took Spanish up to advanced placement Spanish. So I
Mhm.
was in a Spanish play. I did
Mhm.
impromptu speaking in Spanish, but I know what you're talking about. I can't just, I think
I
when
can't just speak it.
people think that you could just,
Yeah.
oh, here's my friend, and it's like, no, it doesn't really work like that. But
Yeah.
I
I can
I
still
I
pick
loved
my
it.
way through it sometimes, but not like if somebody started speaking it or told me to say something, I can't. Um, that's just like I can't fake accents. Like I
Can you
can't like on demand.
roll your
But
tongue though? You got to roll
I
your
used
tongue.
to be able to. Yeah, I used to.
Like
She
that.
said
Yeah.
she can't fake accents, and she's got an alter ego named Emma who's Southern with an accent.
Well, but I'm already halfway there.
Okay, all
That
right.
helps.
But
Yeah.
I do see more accents in your future. I really do.
Yeah, probably. Seeing people driving around.
My
Whatever that
7-year-old
was.
grandson is learning Spanish. He's doing
That's
really
so
well.
cool.
Aw.
He's on
Aw.
the spectrum. He
Yeah.
ADHD, and smart as a whip, but when he gets focused on something, nothing else exists.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest daughter, is fluent actually in sign language, American Sign Language. Like, she gets to put it
I
on her
used to,
job resume and everything, that, like, she can do that, that she gets paid more because she can do it. Even if they
yep.
don't need her to do it, she's still entitled to higher pay because she can do it. And so I'm so
I
proud of
used
her
to be,
because I really want to.
I
I
used to
did
be pretty
too,
good.
and I talk with my hands. Y'all can't see because they're always down here, but my hands are like going constantly. I talk with my hands constantly. And so
I'll
every
teach
Are
once in
you.
a
you
while I'm
Italian like
actually
me? Are you Italian by any
no,
chance? I'm just, I know.
no.
I talk with
Lizzie,
my
do you know
hands
this
too.
one?
I'm not Italian.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
do you know this
But
one?
Mhm.
huh? I was
What?
Trying
trying
to
to
Asshole.
help
spices.
out.
Oh,
So I want to
my
read a
daughter,
couple of
my
the
daughter does. My daughter does a sign language. She studied it in school. I should have known that, but
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know. Loser. I don't know.
Yeah. Whoops.
Or I don't know. I think that's something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it is.
I love it.
I took some adult, education for sign
Uh-huh.
language. So yeah, it's really
That's
a lot.
cool.
It's fun. It's cool. And the
Oh, I
movie,
love it.
why can't I think of the movie? You guys would know. The one, that one, like, oh no, I can't. I can't think of the name of the movie, but it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. A few years back. Uh, anyway, I don't want to.
It'll come to you. I want to
Yeah,
read some of the starred comments real quick. So, again, I want to thank Joel for that super chat. I will get that to her. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and get it to her later today because I'm going to cover the part that YouTube takes out, so she'll get the whole 20, and because I just want to. So Joel says it's been a good day. He got a guitar.
Good
So yeah,
Lord, Joel. Where are you putting all these guitars?
More importantly, what does his wife get
And
now
what?
because there's another guitar?
Yeah, I want to know what. I want to know, like, what are your plans to do with them? It's very interesting. Are you going to keep them all, sell them, hang them on the wall?
Marilyn says Hef and Staysperia crack me up every day for the past year.
It's in the
So
Yeah,
you
name.
don't need a therapist, you just need us.
Don't you what?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Joel says that he's scared to speak. Hold on. I don't know why it's not one. My fingers are not hitting the right places. I'm scared to speak. I've been married long enough to fear women.
Oh, Joel's safe. It's George that has the issue.
Yeah.
George is just one of the girls, though. We turned him into one of the
Oh,
girls.
yes.
Yeah.
I even got him to watch Mean Girls. He's definitely one of
Yeah.
us.
Well, he was forced to because we make references all the time. I do it constantly.
Yeah.
I have a t-shirt. I even have a shirt that says, I'm not like the regular moms. I'm a cool mom. So we had to make him watch it so that he would understand
Yeah.
our lingo. Anyway, I'm
What?
sorry.
Today my
What?
shirt says, "Warning, I can be very unladylike."
Really? Today, like, yes.
Yeah. Yay.
Fuck that guy. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's weird.
FTG every day.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Constance June says, "Yes, everyone at some point or at one point had a rough time." Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
And Marilyn says, "I think that you can use any card with PayPal as long as it's working correctly." Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just have
I
to
don't know
link it
what
to
was
your
going on
account.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mar-
wasn't having a problem with my payment options. The site was saying this looks like it could be a scam,
it
so it
said that to
blocked
me one
me.
time too. Yeah, it said that to me one time too, and I went off of it and then it came back on there and I went ahead and just put on there and said, that I accept the chance kind of deal. And I thought, well, we'll see. So I think what it was that she hadn't used her PayPal in a while. So it was kind of dormant or something. And so they were probably like,
Oh,
like,
Well,
oh,
oh,
they're
okay.
thinking someone's hijacked it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it didn't give
Yeah.
an option. You know how sometimes it'll give you an option like to explain, or like, no, this isn't
Yeah.
whatever, and I can give you more
Right.
information or something, but it wouldn't let me do that.
But after I got the first one to go through it, it started working after that. So anyway, so Marilyn says that she's going to share to her channel too. Thank you very much, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Mischief says, I left Southern California with my second husband in 1993, moved to Oregon. My new and improved hubby, she cracks me up. My new and improved hubby now live in Southwest Washington on a little island. Our whole county has 350 people. You know,
Wonder if
I
she
did not
lives on
realize that she
Puget
lives on
Sound.
an
Does she live on
island.
Puget Sound? I wonder if she lives on
I don't
Puget Sound.
know.
Because Susie, I went to Seattle University for my first 2 years of college.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
So
I mean, haven't been back since. But when you said island, I was like, wait a minute. I wonder. And she'll answer if she she
yeah,
wants
she'll
to.
answer
But
in a minute. Yeah, Kim says that Mischief could do what she's doing. She refers businesses to our company, and that's it. So she then makes commission on it. That must be cool too. Might be something she can check into. Joel says, I can tell you this as a parent who lost a child, it really can mess with you. Did my wife and I, you never get over it. Our loss was over 40 years ago, and you deal with it every day. I know, Joel. I've never lost a child. I cannot imagine, but I watched my parents after losing my sister. I watched how they were for, you know,
My
for years.
sister
And
and one of my sister-in-laws lost babies. My sister's was a premium. She lasted 7 weeks. She was a twin.
mhm.
And my sister-in-law had a stillborn, one just before my son was born and one after. And it was a
Mm,
really bad year. I cannot imagine what they went through.
I can't either.
Oh.
Yeah, I cannot either. I'm trying to think. My aunt, my dad's oldest sister, she had 8 boys. And when she died, I'm trying to make sure I get this right. I think she had 3 left. So she had lost. It was either 4 or 5 that she lost. There's one that I'm like, was that right before her or right after her? But I cannot imagine going through that, 4 or 5 times. And they were very close. I mean, it wasn't like that these were kids and they had moved off and, no, these were kids that she saw that lived close to her, except for one. He lived further off. He's a trip. Ooh. I said he will outlive us all. But he's I could go on. I could write a book about my cousin. Surely could. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I don't know how people go through that. And I don't know how you lose one. I just, I almost lost our oldest daughter, Megan, which is Vetta's mother. When she was 6, we had a copperhead snake get in our house, which is highly poisonous. And so we searched, we literally emptied our entire house out looking for the snake and never found the snake. So, I mean, everything was out. We had to put everything back in and then, go through every little nook and cranny to make sure it wasn't buried up somewhere, this whole thing. Well, somebody had told us to put mothballs down under like in the basement and like in the air conditioning vents and stuff. And so we did that. Well, our daughter was apparently she's like deathly allergic to mothballs, not eating
Oh,
them, just the smell. So
Oh, wow.
I
Oh.
was making yeah, I was making cookies one night and she was laying in there on the couch and her dad was sitting in the chair and they were watching TV and her little sister was running around playing. She was just like, 2 or something. And so anyway, Megan literally rolled off the couch and went into a seizure. And she quit breathing and her heart stopped and everything. And
Oh
my husband,
God.
we were both first responders. So he jumped up and he ended up giving her CPR, mouth to mouth, the whole bit. And he got her going, and we got her in the car. We called the hospital, told the ambulance, we're on the way, but we can get there faster than you can get to us because we know where we're at. And so, anyway, because they were notorious for getting lost out here in the sticks. So it was just like, we can, I can get her there. And so, anyway, I held her in my lap, and I had to keep putting her down in the floor and starting her heart again, like with CPR and everything again, just for the 7-minute ride to the hospital. I had to do it 3 times in the car. So,
Wow.
yeah. We life flighted her
My
by
first
helicopter to the hospital, and they gave her 5% chance of living and said that she would either be a vegetable or that she would die. I mean, they said if she lives, she's going to be what they called then, the doctors said it. I don't like the term, but that's what they said, was she will be in a vegetative state. She will be a vegetable or she will not make it. And she's fine. She woke up 5 days
Awesome.
later. She has a little bit of memory loss. She doesn't remember some of that time in there. There's a little bit of amnesia. Um, but I mean, she's a teacher. She's a functioning adult.
And
She's
she never had
very.
any problems after that, Suze?
We just never let her anywhere around mothballs. If we go in a store and we can smell them, she doesn't go in the store. If she goes to somebody's house, we have to ask before, do you have mothballs around? If they do, she doesn't go.
I don't even really know what those are because I'm in Florida and we don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't you use
oh
them
God,
for
they smell so
like
awful.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people
not
put them in, like, closets and stuff to
yeah
keep the
yeah
moths away from their clothes,
right
but
but
yeah. Yeah,
wow.
I had never
My
used them
son went.
before. I had never used them for anything.
My son went
Marilee, what?
into anaphylactic shock at around 1 year,
Oh my
and
god.
from eating a peanut butter cookie. We didn't know he was allergic, and I was
Oh
still
no.
breastfeeding, and so I popped him on a boob just to see if we could figure out what was going
Yeah.
on. My sister hopped in her. We hopped in her van and drove to the nearest hospital. And both of us
Mm.
are very calm people. So at one point, I said, Michelle, right now he's not breathing. And she went, no problem. Drove over the median in the middle of this main road in Vancouver, straight into the bay at the hospital, and we ran him in the door. They slammed him with adrenaline, and he was fine.
Mhm.
Like within half an
Wow.
hour, he was completely fine. But
Mm.
he's still allergic, and he's had a couple of funny incidences where
Mhm.
where he's eaten something or been in contact with something. His wife yells at him
Wow.
all the time to make sure that he has his EpiPen with him. She's a
Mhm.
midwife.
Wow.
My second had meningitis when she was 2 days old. She
Oh my
was an
god.
emergency C-section. I had a doctor that really listened to me. And I said, something's wrong with this pregnancy. I can't figure out what it is, but something's wrong. And he said, then we're going to monitor you even more closely. And I would go down to the hospital because, there was something amiss, and they would keep me overnight. Everything was fine. And then um, on her due date, I hadn't noticed her moving. So I phoned the doctor and I
Mm.
said, I haven't noticed any movement, and I feel like I don't feel right. And he said,
Mhm.
I'll meet you at the hospital. And when we got to that,
Yeah.
my husband dropped me at the door, and when I got in, her heart rate had dropped to half of what it should be. And I had everybody asking me questions as I'm being rolled in on the gurney. And I was answering, and every one of them really straightforward. No, I'm allergic to this. Yes, this is fine. No, this isn't fine. Rolled me in, and they said, we have to do this is an emergency. We have to knock you out. There's no question. So I said, please phone my
Oh.
husband and let him know what's going on. So they did the C-section. She seemed to be fine, but she developed a
Mm.
fever, and they checked her the standard routine with infants is they do lumbar puncture and they check. And sure enough, she had meningitis. And she was 7 pounds, this little round, roly-poly, chubby little thing, and yet she was seriously ill. So my son wasn't allowed in to see her. They had to put her in isolation. And the nurses said that she was the most boring child they'd ever had to deal with because she slept all the time. And I would go down and breastfeed her, pump milk when I got up in the morning, and made the mistake one morning of dumping the milk into, sorry, but guys, if you're bothered by this, but dumping the milk into my coffee instead of into the container. And I was released from the hospital a week after she was born. So I would bring the milk down, come down, feed her, go home. She was so calm and relaxed in the hospital. So they released her at 2 weeks, clean bill of health, and they never did figure out. They actually did say that they think that maybe I had meningitis, and that's where she caught it. But they never had a chance to check me because I was already home by that time. So she does have some, a little bit of brain anomalies, and but I always told her that everybody's brains are different, and sometimes your brain is a giant roadmap, and sometimes some people's roadmaps, all the roads and all the bridges are open, but some people's roadmaps have broken bridges or broken roads, and so they can still get to the same place. They just have to go a different route.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
She's OCD, panic attack, by when things really get bad, she becomes the other ones aren't as bad. Hey, we're all disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Is she buffering or skipping or freezing or?
But
I think so.
Okay.
Maya has completely frozen.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to fix it. Well, I'm trying to bring her back, but
and he's
okay, let's get hot. And I got hat head.
I think she's trying to go out and back in again. So I was going to read this. Losing Amanda, her daughter, destroyed me. She was 23 and was in an auto accident. I was on the truck with my hubby, and she passed while we were at an airport trying to get home. That's awful.
Damn
that
it.
would mess with you. That would mess
I'm
with
just
you.
going to give her some hearts.
Yes. Anybody want to put hearts? Absolutely. And Alan said that in Australia, once you're at the right age, you qualify for Social Security regardless of whether you work or not. And I saw that he had to leave. He had to go to work, I think. But that's interesting to know. I don't know why we can't do it like that, honestly. I mean,
I've been in the system since I was 16, the Social Security, disability, and it's a complete joke. I will be the first one to tell you. I mean, I don't know how those people have their jobs, because I mean, I can tell you stories, and I don't call them. I avoid it because, I mean, it's like a comedy skit, really. I mean, like, I had to renew my Medicaid, which I don't use it. I don't need Medicaid, knock on wood, thank God, and I don't use it, but I had to maintain it for my HMO, like whatever category they put you in. I just wanted to be able to stay on the same quote unquote plan. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go in there and make sure everything's the way it is. Cause you know how it's all in there, and you just check like, is your name right? And if anything you have to change. Well, guys, I don't know how this happened, but after the fact, when I looked at, the summary of the information, they had me in there as an African American. So I went back and I changed it. And then when I checked again, they had me as African American again. So I'm going, I don't know what y'all are doing, but I don't know. I'm grateful, don't get me wrong, that I do get benefits, but people just have no idea. Like they think
they don't.
If they're not familiar, they think maybe it's like easy, but it's not, because for people like me who want to work, they really instill fear in you, like that if you do, and you can, it's not that you won't lose everything, but it's always in the back of your mind, like, because then they're always, I don't know if I could say up your, always checking on you. So it's a really is a double-edged sword. So
yeah, I have a friend that she's actually going to come on the channel in a little bit. She's trying to get her internet fixed. She lives kind of out in the sticks, and so she's having a hard time trying to figure out what internet will work the best. And she actually has a channel, but her internet got worse. It's crazy. It was barely hanging on, but then suddenly it got worse. But anyway, so this friend of mine was actually internally decapitated in a motorcycle accident. And so it took her, I'm probably going to get this wrong. So when she comes on, she can correct me because I will be wrong. But anyway, I think it took her like 3.5, 4 years, maybe 4.5 years to get on disability after being internally decapitated. She can't work. She was a paramedic. She can't, can never be lifting things and, all these things. If she hits a bump wrong, things could, mess up in there and she will die instantly. It's not just that she was internally decapitated and healed. No, she has severe ongoing. When I have been around a lot of paramedics, they get punched, they get kicked, they get all kinds of stuff, which is sad to me, crazy. But it happens. And can you imagine somebody that's, she's trying to get them to the hospital and they're on drugs or something?
Yeah.
And I'm going to add her back, see if that works now. And she gets kicked or something and it kills her. That's just, crazy.
Susie, it's well documented that people, when they apply, like everybody's denied the first time.
Yeah.
I've read that over and over again, but that's her cases like your friend, that should just never happen. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, she finally had to get a lawyer and she finally did get it. And when she did, they had to pay her back for all the time. So she got quite a little bit of which helped her a lot. And they had to catch up a bunch of bills and stuff. Yeah.
Good.
She's the one that I was saying the other day bought me the video camera for me to use for my channel when she got that little bit of video. She paid a bunch of her bills and then she did that, which just made me cry. I just cried and cried and cried. And I've cried since then too, just thinking about it. But it wasn't, I had put it on my wish list for Mark to buy. And he was like, there's not one on there. And I'm like, I know there's one on there because I put it on there. And we went and looked and it was gone. And I'm like, well, whatever. Because he didn't get it. He didn't get it for me for Christmas. So I'm like, you didn't get me the, what happened to my camera, But so anyway, and then it showed up and I'm like looking at him and so we figured out who sent it. But anyway, it wasn't the most expensive one. Thank God. I'm glad she didn't buy any. It's very nice one. It's a middle of the road, not the cheapest, not the most expensive, but does more than I will ever need it to do. And so I'm so excited. But I had bought her mics and mic stands when she first started. So it's kind of one of those, help a girl out.
Pay it forward.
Yeah. So, and my daughter, she's getting ready to start a YouTube channel, Megan, Vetta's mom. She doesn't know exactly what she wants to do. So I'm paying it forward by giving her all of the equipment that I used when I first started, because I've upgraded a little. And I told her, I said, don't go buy anything. Go use this stuff of mine and make sure that you even like it, because I hate to see anybody like spend a bunch of money to get into a hobby and then figure out, a month down the road that this is not what I want to do.
Yeah. So that's a good point. It's really a good point.
So Joel said, he's talking to Mischief, and he said, we lost Laura, our daughter. when she was 4 months old was SIDS. Like you, a sudden and shocking loss. I feel your pain. I keep hearing somebody. I don't know who it is. Probably either a dog or Veta. She likes to sneak in. And then Mischief said, I'm still on 2 medications for depression and anxiety. At one point, I did a stint inpatient at a loony bin. That's our Mischief. Because I was suicidal. They had plastic silverware and everything. Oh, it just breaks my heart to think of anybody being that just so fragile, but for it to be our friend. And that's why I just wanted to help her out because I knew a lot of this stuff, and I wasn't going to like tell it all. I mean, that's her story kind of a deal. It's like if she wants to tell it, she can tell it all day. And if she wants me to tell it, she can tell me to tell it and I'll tell it all day. But I didn't want to just like, blurt things out. But yeah, but the thought that because she's already kind of, whoops, we're missing Nicole
Wow.
for a second. There she is. But anyway, since she's already kind of fragile, I didn't want it to, I was scared that my best friend would get even more depressed. So
Yes,
when she started,
Sam. Sorry.
huh?
I saw Sam come in. I said, hi, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Sam.
Joel says, Mischief, if I could wish it, or I wish I could say it goes away, but it doesn't. It does get easier to bear. I hope you feel stronger. I think this will be good for her too, because she'll have lots of, just feeling good stuff from people. So hold on. I'm just gonna. So Alan had to leave for work. Hold on just a second. I'm going to go back up and hit some of the actual live comments. Yeah, Sammy's here. Kim is here. I'm just going to go and kind of hit some of the ones that have come in while we've been talking. Galen is here. Hey, Sammy. Good to see you. So glad to see you. Always.
Oh, Kim wants to know who's on the panel. She's a newbie.
Okay, let's get rid of. Hold on. Lord, hold on. I'm sorry. Y'all, I am not good at this.
I wouldn't know how to do all that. I'm lucky I clicked the link and did this.
Okay, now we have Susie, Nicole, the Hef, and Staceperia, and hold on. And there is Marilee.
Yay.
I
She's
keep
back.
adding her back.
Yay.
She goes away.
And we are Susie's mods. So
Some of them, most of them, actually, most of them.
How
why
many
is
do you have?
on the panel?
Well, I think it's
Oh,
just
not all.
Mischief.
Yeah, I'm
And
sorry.
John's not here.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah. I know
John's.
who's on. I was hoping he'd pop in.
I know, me too.
Yeah, Hockeytown John is not here. Mischief is in the chat because her tablet is giving her hell, y'all, and she couldn't get in to StreamYard to stay. So she said, "Well, I'll just be the mod." I'm like, "Yeah, you're the one having to work today. The rest of us are sitting up here being silly." So yeah.
Where's John? How come John's not here?
I don't know. He said he was going to be here. He couldn't be here if I did it yesterday because I think it was yesterday.
He was out walking his dog, right?
Yeah, he was walking his dog. Oh, and then we have
The hoo-ha's back.
Hoo-ha is
Yeah,
back.
I couldn't stop it and say hello.
Yeah.
And you were being goofy. You called me goofy. Was I goofy? I don't think I'm
Yes.
goofy. I'm who?
Well,
Half
hoo-ha.
stupid motherfucking hoo-ha. Right here.
I'm going to have to go put on my mask.
Yeah.
We're going for Mad Max Fury Road then, are we?
Well, I'm kind of glad that Hef doesn't have the mask she had on last night
What?
with the hoo-ha googly eyes.
That's what made me beautiful today. Okay. It was a lovely, lovely, lovely clay mat. I'm sorry. I'm really stoned. I might have
She's
hit
really
that way too
stoned.
many times. Woo, my goodness.
We need to have
To be
another one
fair,
of
Hef,
these and
when are you not?
everybody be. Yeah, really, Have. When are you
What?
not stoned? When are you
When are you
not
not
stoned?
stoned? Come on.
Don't normally smoke during the day, but you guys know how I am with like I'm on camera, I'm weird, I'm awkward. I had to get, a little bit of a instead of anal ease, it's a little bit of YouTube ease is what I think about my weed, right? I feel a little better, a little relaxed, talk a little more. Sorry.
Goodness.
Oh, there's a word we didn't think we'd be hearing on a live from Susie.
What? Sorry. Is, hey, she's just being who she is, right? It's like you gotta just
Yeah.
be you.
I mean, I gotta change. I probably should change my name back to the inappropriate heifer to warn people that I
What's
am.
funny
I
is
think
it's
they
like they don't
know.
expect it.
I think they know. You're famous, Have. They know.
I refer to you as your moniker because if I say, I mean, I guess people in our chat they would know because your name is Is it Stacy?
Yeah.
You're real,
My
but
government
I'm
name.
just so used to saying like
Well,
the half like in the chat or in
yeah,
the
and that's okay. I mean, the whole time I was at Maryland, I was half, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah. So yeah, I don't mind if people just call me that. It's weird because
Makes
you're right.
sense
I do
listening
it
to
You go
too.
on
music.
YouTube and you go on Facebook, and everybody's, most everybody's name is different. But yeah.
Yeah. I still
Everybody but
refer to most
Mischief.
people. Yeah. I refer to everybody by whatever their name is on here
Right.
because if not, because some people don't want people to know their name. And
Yep.
so I don't
Right.
know who that is. I don't know who, because some people are really trying to protect their privacy. And so instead of just blurting out a name, I try to stick with whatever they say on screen so that because I respect that. I mean, if they're trying to, a lot of us have children or spouses or we've had bad experiences. I've got a friend that she has a channel and she actually had someone figure out all she ever tells, excuse me, is her first name. She doesn't tell where she works. She doesn't tell her last name. She doesn't tell where she lives. She's got a channel and she's very open about a lot, but she just doesn't give away any identifying information except for her first name.
Yeah.
And some woman on there found out not only her name and her last name, but where she lived, got her address, found out where she worked, showed up at her work, and
Oh.
yeah, was shown out by security. Then the next day she showed up at her house. Yeah. And
Oh
she
no.
God.
never
What?
gives away any kind. So I respect that. If somebody
Yeah, of course,
doesn't,
yeah.
especially somebody with a channel or somebody, that's in the chat or a mod or somebody that has like, especially that might make somebody mad, because you never know. And us with
No,
channels or
yeah.
those that mod, we can possibly make people mad, and we don't know.
You
We
think
just
so?
don't know.
What you're talking about?
Yeah.
I've never made anybody mad.
Right. What do you
I have no
yeah.
idea what you're saying.
Speak for yourself, Susie / Emma. Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I make people mad, but they can't respond back because I block them. So
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, my block list is a mile long.
yeah.
On every platform, on every social media platform, I am like block happy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on just a
Yeah, I
second.
have one of
Check
those.
this.
Oh, go ahead,
Aw.
Susie.
I follow a YouTube channel called Pluto Living, and it's this Canadian woman who has animated. She's taken her dog and then used AI to have the dog talk. And so she started at the beginning of COVID doing PSAs
Yeah.
and reminding people to stay indoors. But the dog is so like it was so funny watching this little miniature schnauzer talk and just it was priceless. And she called the lady who does the channel, Nancy, actually calls that, like, men were always trying to hook up with women, and she would always call them sad Romeos. Now her dog Pluto died, and like, Pluto is known worldwide.
Wow.
Like, there's people that Pluto still. She's been gone for over a year, and Nancy still continues to post the old videos for people to watch, and it's just so funny. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sad Romeos. She would block the sad Romeos.
So we got a $50 super chat for
Thank you.
Mischief from Meso Mac, and I am going to say thank you. I will get that to her. I will. I'm going to do these at the end of when I get off of here after the live. I will go and do all that. So yeah,
you have the nicest community. I'm pretty new, but
I know,
you just have.
right?
I tell you guys are just amazing. Really. I mean,
I
I've
think
been
so
in
too.
circles before, but I've not had people stand up for me and stick up for me and just
Like I
stay
did
in
on
my
that one
and
video.
like no, I just mean in general, like, and stay in my life. Like, if something happens, people are just gone. And it's
Yeah.
amazing that all of you, so I don't know if it's all of you, but what you've been through, that it would have been so easy for y'all to say, hey, like, I'm done with this, with all the stuff you have to deal with. But no, you guys said, we're friends. We're always going to be friends. And we're continuing it. And I've just never seen anything like it. And that's what drew me to your channel, because I didn't know you. I didn't know any of
Yeah.
you guys. I just kind of fell in, and I was like, wait a minute, these people have integrity. These are the kind of people that I want to say that, I have the honor of knowing, because in this world, try to go find, how many people you guys hear on the screen, minus myself, although I am, but you have 4 people right here who are the most authentic people that you'll ever find. And it's just incredible. And they're starting a fundraiser for their other friend who's also authentic, but you just don't come across this every day. So I think you guys,
I don't think so either.
pat yourselves on the back, because you're
I think that
just really good
every
people.
single person that's my mod is just like wonderful people. Like I sat back and kind of watched people and
But it
decide
starts
if I
with
want
you,
them in there or
Suze.
not. Oh, thank you. Like Jimena
Yes,
is one of the
threw a wrench
sweetest
at me
people.
Susie just threw a wrench at me one day.
I did.
Sounded
There you
violent.
go.
I had no idea what modding was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There you
avoided
go.
it. I think I had been asked by Marilyn for a while, and I kept saying, I don't want to. I don't know. Yeah, and then so yeah, I have fun doing it, but yeah, I didn't want to. I wasn't looking for a wrench either.
Man,
But
I was
I
a mod before it was cool, back in 2015, for someone who has a really huge channel. The guy turned out to be a jerk, and he
Yeah.
blindsided me, and I was just like,
Yeah.
exit, stage left with class. And I'm not gonna argue with people. It's like, once I see your true colors.
Yeah.
But it hurt a lot, because when people thought of this guy, they thought of me as his secondhand
Yeah.
person. So you know how everyone's like, they all love you, right? But then
Yeah.
once I was just like, I disappeared, like, from, like, poof, right? And I don't know if he said anything to his because I don't. After that, like, Stacey was saying, block. I was just like, I don't want to have anything to do with this person. I don't care what you do from this point forward. I wish you well, but, like, I'm out. And
Yeah.
nobody contacted me except one idiot who was like, I want to send Tim something. Do you have his address? I'm like, what? I don't work for
Yeah.
Tim. I'm not. People
I
just
have lost 10% of my family, if that tells you anything. I know what you mean.
I think mine's
My
about
actual
90%.
family.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm the youngest of 11, and I don't even have relationships with half of them because they're toxic.
I don't
You know, but
claim my half siblings, and
yeah,
they can go fuck themselves.
but
Well,
that's
I
why
am
it's
proud to
beautiful that
say,
you guys are all friends.
you know, I am probably the only person that's ever been called suppressant in a Baptist church.
Hey,
That
I
is a
had a
claim to fame.
hey, I had a demon cast out of me when I was like
Well, you
17.
win. You win.
I did. I
It
did.
didn't work.
The lady said she saw the
Yeah, it
black
didn't
cloud
work.
lift off of me. I know, right? She said she
Oh,
saw the
wow.
black cloud lift off of me. That was the demon, and it
Oh,
ran the door. And
Which
I
demon
still
was
don't,
it?
I don't know. That's what pisses me off.
Oh,
I didn't have a name for my demon. Like,
oh,
I'm so pissed off about that. I want to know.
yeah.
it
Yeah,
might have been a fun demon. Maybe you want it back.
I have to say,
It probably came back as soon as I left church camp. As soon as I walked off the grounds, it was like, "Hey, I'm over here. I was waiting on you. Come on now."
I
So
have
the Lord
7
Mystery.
siblings, and they're all really quite
Oh wow,
crazy.
really?
And
I have heard about some of yours. You've mentioned some.
well, my brother
Oh,
that lives in a van, you know,
yeah.
like really. I've got a sister that lives
Lord Kiss
in
Freaks in the
California,
chat.
but everybody else lives in
Yeah.
Canada and within driving distance. And not one of them is cookie box, fit the norm type of people.
Wow.
that's why.
Here's
They're
one from
brilliant, every one of them.
Mischief. She says, Mischief says, Mayor, me too. She says, I was in chat and asked, why do I have a wrench? And Susie said, because I gave it to you.
Well, Susie asked me, and I was just like so honored. And then all of a sudden, I'm in this chat on Facebook, and I'm like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
Every
I'm
time I
like,
say
okay,
something that
you're
Susie
in.
threw me a wrench, it reminds me of a story that my brother told me about working with my dad. My dad was really violent, and my brothers had to go to work with him. And he was a welder, and he was up on top of one of his forklifts hammering something, and it couldn't get it unstuck. So he yells down at my younger brother, "Throw me the sledgehammer." My brother goes, "Dad, I'm not going to throw you the sledgehammer. It's not safe." And my dad, "No, no, no, no. Sure, throw me the fucking sledgehammer." So my brother threw the sledgehammer. And Rod said it was like you could see it in slow motion. The sledgehammer going around and going whoosh, whoosh. And Dad reached for it and he grabbed it wrong and it flew up and hit him in the head. He was so pissed off, he took the sledgehammer and he beat it into shards. It was just
Oh,
insane. I say, throw me that. It just brings it back to mind. Now, my family is known for laughing at some of the insane things that happened when we were kids because there is humor in it.
Yeah.
And
it's
just
also
the
your way
whole,
of coping, I think, as well.
well,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a really healthy coping. My psychiatrist says it's a very healthy coping mechanism. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
that's the way.
Absolutely.
That's why I am the way I am. I mean, I've had trauma upon trauma, yeah, and the only way I can get through it is laughing. I mean, that's why I changed my other YouTube account to have Scoogly at hoo ha.
Yeah.
Not that I really let her get to me as far as whatever. But I thought, well, bitch, if you wanna start making fun of shit, then we're gonna see if you can top what I can do, kind of deal. Um, I understand it completely. I was voted class clown in high school. I've always been the clown, and I've always been the one with the stories too, because I was bouncing at a nightclub when I was 15 years old. So there's, Susie, when you were talking about, you had a gun pointed at you, a pew pew. Sorry, fuck. I hope I didn't just screw that up.
No, you're
A
fine.
pew,
No, you're
okay,
fine.
a pew pew at you. I've had, or is that what you said, or a knife? I can't remember, or both.
No, it was, yeah, it was,
That's right.
We
Okay.
yeah,
out.
they shot
Yeah,
at
yeah.
me.
Yeah, but I've had in the clubs, I've had knives pulled on me. I've had, if I wasn't bouncing a gun or two had gotten through, I've had that pointed. Listen. So absolutely, humor is the best way to get through this. Because I don't know who I would be without everything that happened. I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
person I would be, and that's okay. And I am who I am today, and that's what I. Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm just word vomiting.
You're fine.
But
No,
yeah,
we're with
yeah,
you.
my point.
So Kim says, my mother said once, go get me something to hit you with. What the fuck? I said, I'll get you a feather. And then I ran.
Oh.
I
Oh,
had a thing kind of like
Nice.
that. My mom spanked me, and she didn't spank me often, but I was notorious for rolling my eyes and being kind of a smart ass. And I'm sure I said something completely, smart ass to her. And anyway, so she just like grabs me by the arm and she just like swatted me a couple times on the butt. Well, I walked away from her and I walked into the room where my brother and sister were at. And I'm like, that didn't hurt. And I turned and looked and she's standing there looking at me. And I was like, I started bawling. I said, it hurt. I'm lying. It hurt. It was bad. So
did
yeah, I can get with Kim with her, but it didn't hurt.
did anybody else's mother backhand them like
No,
that?
but I have popped
So
I have
my
popped my I once I popped my daughter right in the mouth. She said something a little vicious to me, to be perfectly honest, and I just boom, and then I
well,
regretted it, but
you had the backhand technique. Like we'd be driving down the road, and for some reason, anytime we were going somewhere in a car, we would just get in an argument automatically, or I'd smart off and say something, and she would be driving. She's driving. She bam, backhand my mouth and driving like
yeah.
all the time. She would backhand. That was like the biggest thing. She used to, of course, she used to spank me, and it's so funny because I was really over dramatic about it every time. And well, one time though,
You can't imagine.
I know, right? One time I had pigtails. I had hair all the way down. It was straight all the way down to my waist, and she had my hair in pigtails. Well, she went to the grocery store and left me home with my dad, and I was mad. I was mad because she didn't take me with her because I went everywhere with my mom. My dad's out in the front yard working on the flower bed and stuff. Somehow I found a pair of scissors and cut off an entire pigtail because I don't know. I was mad. Cut off. She came home and oh my God, she was so mad. So she would whip me. She would whip me and then laugh and then whip me again and then cry and whip me again because she had to cut it off into like a really short bob. But my dad had a piece of rubber this bigger this big around and this thick, and he put it on a handle, and that was the paddle, that thick piece of rubber. It was horrible. When my brother left home, he stole the paddle and took it with him. It could not be used anymore.
My,
It was like a motherfucker.
my dad used the metal and a belt, a leather belt that had metal studs on it. That was
Oh,
what he
wow.
used. My mom
Oh
would never
God.
back, but she did smack us. But dad was pretty rough. But it's interesting because my oldest sister has had a different relationship with my dad than the rest of us did. When
I
she was
understand.
when she was a baby, he went to jail for a year because he was covering for his younger brother. He didn't want his brother to go to jail, so my dad took the rap and went to jail. So my sister lived with my mom and my mom's mom, so my grandmother and my mom. So it was just the three of them together, and it was like very, very different than the upbringing that came later.
Yeah.
And so when their relationship was extremely different from the rest, but my dad had this habit of saying things kind of stupid. He would say, "You idiot's child." And he says this one day, and my sister looked at him and went, idiot's child, huh?
Ah.
And he started laughing. He realized that he was calling himself the idiot all
I'm an
this
idiot.
time. But yeah,
Yeah.
he stopped hitting us when I hit him back when I was 14. I grabbed a mirror off the wall when he told me that I should clean up my brother's mess, and I said no. And I hit him over the head and ran like hell. And my logic was, he's got bare feet, I've got running shoes on. I can run faster if I go on the gravel, and he can't catch me. I was wrong. I pushed the ladder over on him. That didn't stop him. I hit him with a gate. That
Wow.
didn't stop him. And when he caught me, he grabbed me by the ankle and lifted me upside down. And I bit him in the calf and drew blood. Now, apparently, I got the beating of my life. I don't remember that. I remember fighting back, and I won. I was 14. I weighed 95 pounds. There was nothing to me.
Mm.
And it just became this family legend. My siblings could not, I'm the fourth. My siblings could not believe that I did this. They were in
Wow.
absolute shock. But Dad never hit any of us after that. So I did win.
Good for you. Good for you. I've never
So
had.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that mine was. I don't call it mine abuse. It was just spankings, but I understand. I understand how that is when you got to stand up to somebody before they'll stop. They think they can just push you over and do. Oh, fuck me. I'm sorry. Do
There
whatever
he
they can.
is.
Ah, there you
Hey,
are.
John.
Hey, John. Yeah, there was violence in my home too. Not directed toward me, but yeah, I mean it just changes the whole dynamic because you're always on feeling like you're walking on eggshells.
Yep.
But
Mhm. Mhm.
For sure. You didn't know when the axe was going to fall. Like my dad was a heavy drinker, and Friday
Wow.
nights he would go out every night after work till the bar closed. And there's a Canadian fast food chain, A&W, and we would stay up and watch horror movies on TV until we heard his truck. And
Oh,
somebody
wow.
would be at the window, and if he had an A&W bag, we were safe and we would stay up. But if he didn't, we would say, Dad's home, and everyone would scatter and get into bed.
scatter. Yep.
We'd been asleep the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
John's here. John's here. Oh, I can't
Hi,
hear you.
John.
Now you have to introduce yourself,
You're muted.
because we all did.
Hello.
we go.
Sorry, I was.
There we go. I hear you now. I hear
Okay.
you.
Hey.
Yeah, you have to kind of introduce yourself just a little bit to the ones that are still here.
Oh, well, I am Hockeytown John, as most of you already know.
Mhm.
Dear friend of the channel and wrench swinging mod.
He's our token man.
I'm the
He's our
token man, exactly. I'm a little late to the party, but that's a typical guy
alright.
saying, right?
I don't know. We all made it on time.
I see. That's
Yeah,
what
we
I'm
forgive
saying.
you though.
All right.
Yeah, we
I
forgive
appreciate
you.
that. Sounds like I walked into a deep discussion here.
Well, we've just kind of hit and miss a little bit. We were telling a little we got on to talking about our upbringing and how we were spanked or not spanked or whatever.
Oh, good
And
Lord.
we just kind of talked about how we got into modding and I don't know. We've been talking a little bit about Mischief and how we're so glad to be able to help her.
Yes,
And
we love
she's
that,
not
Mischief.
she's in the chat today. She's not on the stage. She was having internet issues with her tablet, so she's here. We've gotten a
she's
couple of super chats that have been
Yeah.
designated for her. So I'm going to be
that's
sending her
great.
those super chats when we get off of here, and then I told him I'm going to eat the 30%, so I can just go ahead and send it to her now, and she doesn't have to wait until the next time that
Oh, that's
that I
sweet.
get paid. So I'm just going to go
I'm
ahead
so
and send
glad
it
we're
now.
doing that for her. She's such a dear friend.
I am too. I am too. She is a sweetheart. And she's kind of, you'll have to look in the chat a little bit. She's been telling us a little bit about her history and why that they're having a little bit of, financial troubles right now. Her husband's been off work for almost 3 months for anybody that's joined us late. He's been a truck driver for over 20 years. He's retired from the Marine Corps. Just a great guy. But, for most of us, what is it they say that we're like 3 paychecks away or something from being
We're
homeless?
all three
Yep.
checks away from being homeless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
And
this
then
has
and
been
then our
about 3 months for them, and we do
Mm.
not want them to end up homeless. So,
no, we
you
don't.
know, they but, that is just so sad when I think about that, how close a lot of people truly are to being homeless.
Well,
I'm it just is so
And he's a
scary.
veteran, no less, Suze.
Yeah, I
yes,
know.
Mischief, please do me a favor and thank your husband for his service from all of us.
Absolutely, Mischief.
Yes,
Please
Yeah.
do.
thank you.
All of us.
And that's
Yep.
sad
My-
because go ahead. Sorry.
My daughter is
Yeah.
2 paychecks away right now from being homeless. Her husband got
Yeah.
he's got back problems, have same as you, and so he can't work his he's
Mhm.
a finishing carpenter, and he can't do any heavy lifting. And
Yeah, that's the
Well,
worst.
it's
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
worst.
especially in today's climate too. I mean, I
Yeah.
think all of us are fearing it. Those of us that are still working are fearing we're going to have a
Oh,
job next week.
absolutely.
It's like
well,
my
at
wife works
least
in the automotive industry, and I work in an industry that's deeply affected by all these tariffs and everything, and
Mhm.
we're terrified.
well we're
And
elbows
also
up here.
small businesses too. Small businesses are gonna get slammed.
Absolutely.
I know.
Mhm.
I mean, we are trying really hard to shop exclusively either Canadian or any place other than the US, even though we don't
Mhm.
want to hurt the people. It's
No,
the
I
only,
understand that.
Yeah, no, we
You're
get
in
it.
you're in
Yeah.
Canada, Marilee?
yes, I am.
Elbows
I'm
up, lady.
elbows up,
We
gloves
support
off, and
you.
over the boards.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad that the Canadian people, they're a lot smarter than some Americans
Yeah.
because they're not taking it out on us. We're friends
Yeah.
and they
No, I
still
think
love, but they have to do what they have to do.
yeah, they
Well, we
Yeah.
have the advantage of having, more than a two-party system, and that
Mhm.
kind of changes, and also the way our legislation is set up. Um, the prime minister can't do anything without the okay of
Mhm.
everybody else. So
Yeah.
he's got to get sort of a majority agreement in order to put anything through, and he can't
Well,
bypass that.
well, and you know what's funny
Yeah.
is I think for years and years, many of us thought that that's how our government was set
Yeah.
up as well.
Supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And we're finding
Yeah.
out that we have a king all of a sudden, and that's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
You only
disheartening.
have two parties, so you don't have that extra
Yeah,
set of voices saying,
Right.
"No."
right.
And there were supposed to be checks and balances, but I don't know where they went.
He's not
Because
listening. Right?
there's 3 branches of the government.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's just like I don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of feel a lot sometimes that I live in an alternate universe. That's why I
Yeah.
love you guys and your community and YouTube because, like Susie was saying, when she was going through her treatments and she, watched a lot of things to help her, I think pass the time and get through it. You
Mhm.
can find almost anything on
Oh, yeah.
YouTube. Not to mention these channels with great hosts who have
Mhm.
amazing communities, and then you can forget temporarily some of the stuff that's going on in the world, and you all just bring goodness and kindness. Like every time I've interacted when I didn't know you in chats,
Yeah.
and you're all welcoming. So if we have any new people here, Susie's channel,
Absolutely.
she welcomes you all. And Susie, can you tell? Because if there are people, I don't know if there are people. What is your channel about? What can they expect to see on your channel?
Well, let's see.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It's a little
Did
bit of
I
everything.
just open up
It
a
is
can of
kinda.
worms?
Yeah. No, I always say that I am mostly very much an anti-Scientology channel. I am here to try to shut down Scientology, try to bring awareness about the horrors of Scientology to those that don't know so that they will not get involved with it, and to let the ones that come out of Scientology know that there are normal people out here that they've been told that are evil. And I say normal because I mean just your normal person, just Joe on the street kind of deal. Um, that we're there to support them, and that we really do care, and that if we personally can't help them, we'll find somebody that can. And
Yeah.
so, that's kind of that part. But I also do talk about a lot of high demand religions, relationships, even jobs, that kind of thing. We talk about a lot. We talk about, I don't know, the good, the
We also
bad, the
interview people because you interviewed
yeah,
me, and you're gonna be
yeah.
interviewing
Mhm.
Lord Kiss
That's
Freak.
really that's turning into a big part of my channel actually, is interviewing some of our viewers. And that, are just like they may or may not have been in Scientology or any other cult situation, but they have stories. Like, you had a completely different story about, your cerebral palsy, which was something that I have been absolutely shocked to learn how many in our community have that, in their life, which is amazing. And, I have a dear friend that her son had cerebral palsy. He's passed away now, but he was one of the most amazing people I had ever met in my life.
Mhm.
And they treated
Oh.
him just yes. They treated him just as much like normal as they could. I mean, he had a very, very severe case of it, but,
Mhm.
but Mischief says, "Susie, normal? Speak for yourself." Yeah, normal is overrated.
I
But,
was going to chime in, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I was going to say, what is
yeah,
your definition of normal?
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
but
not
yeah,
normal.
yeah, we just want to interview different people. We're having Lord Kiss Freak on in just a few days, and I'm not even really sure what we're going to talk about yet. But he's just such an interesting character. We're just going to talk.
Mhm.
And I
I
just had
feel
Carrie Bemis on. Carrie Bemis had a great
Oh,
story
yeah.
about her life in Catholic school and the abuse that she
Mhm.
suffered, and how
yeah.
it
Some
led
of that.
to more abuse. And how that got started was how we were talking about, actually, about Brett Miller, and how he really downplays the whole bit about his sexual assault conviction,
Mm,
and acts like it's no big deal, and the thought that, maybe it's not a big deal for you, but it is still a big deal for her. And so that's
Mhm.
how the whole conversation with Carrie came in, was because years later, she became very promiscuous. She got addicted to drugs. She had just a
Mhm.
devil may care, thought about life, and everything. And it all she found through therapy, because she had repressed the memories of being assaulted as a 10-year-old. And so she had, repressed those memories. And so when they came back to her and she got into therapy and everything, she figured out that it was those memories that were giving her such issues in life. And so
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be like, there you go, Brett, you know? Now, we do
Mhm.
have another very interesting one coming on. I'm not sure, it's going to be in the next few days, and I'm not going to say the name or anything yet, but it is a fellow creator that was actually one of the victims of Echoplex Media.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Wow,
I'm
wow.
not
Yeah.
familiar with. I don't know
that's going to
who.
be big.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know who
Yeah.
Echoplex Media is. So
That's for
He
the
I'm like,
best.
Yeah.
yeah.
what?
No.
Oh, okay.
Some things are
He's a
better left
guy.
unknown, Nicole.
Glad you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Right, John.
Yeah, he was,
But
I'll just
Susie,
briefly.
you yourself, you were not in Scientology, is that right?
No, not at all. No,
No, we're all just
not at
advocates.
all.
But
Yeah.
you just want to help. Okay.
I have a very good friend, we were friends in high school, who was in the Branch Davidians, but
Oh,
he
no.
was kidnapped
Gosh.
out. He was kidnapped out before all, all that happened. Um,
Mhm.
his parents actually kidnapped him out and had him deprogrammed. I don't believe that
Oh,
it
God.
was legal, but they did it.
Wow.
And he is doing great. Has been doing great for years now. He's got grown children. He's married. He's very happy. And this was a person who was like the absolute hottest, smartest, most popular everything guy in our school. Like, I mean, it was so funny. This is so stupid, but how I met him was on my first day after moving from California, and I was like pissed because, I had my life set out in front of me at 15. And, we moved here
Don't we
and
all?
yeah, I moved to this little school where I had 500 and something kids in my class in California. And I moved here and there weren't that many kids in the school from kindergarten to 12th grade. So, I mean,
Wow.
seriously, there was like 30 something kids in my class. And
Mhm.
so this little school here had a little Halloween carnival. And at the Halloween carnival, they had what they called a marriage booth. Which, if you knew
A
this little
what
school,
now?
I'm telling you, I think every girl in the senior class except for one had children, and I think that, they really seem to advocate for get married, have babies, Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
Oh,
had this little marriage booth so that you go in there and you fake get married and you get a little license and everything.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
anyway, I'm walking around there and this completely gorgeous, 6 foot something, you know, everything comes walking up to me and he's like, "Hey, you want to get married?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Because if you remember from the conversation I had the other day, I was a little boy crazy. I was,
Mhm.
slightly. So anyway, I laugh and say that we never got a divorce. So I may actually, you know,
Being
You're a bigamist
You're a
like Elrond.
polygamist.
I'm a I'm a bigamist.
I got married when I was 10 years
Terrible.
old in a swimming pool,
Did you?
and my
Oh,
neighbor was.
really?
I married her cousin. We had, those little kind of rope bracelets used to have in
Mhm.
like the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s, and you can tighten them up.
Mhm.
Well, that's what each of us had. That was our rings or whatever. And yeah, we got
Yeah.
married. Yeah, and then when he was 15, he ended up having a child at 15. It's like,
Oh,
I dodged that
Oh
bullet.
my. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Keanu
funny.
Reeves
But
and Winona Ryder are technically
yeah.
married.
I heard
I
that
really?
story. Yeah,
it's
I heard
so
that
funny.
story.
They
Hmm.
they did a marriage ceremony in the Dracula movie and
Oh,
Uh-huh.
wanted it to be authentic, so they actually got a real what was he
like a
priest,
priest or
Yeah, he was a real
and,
priest.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
he did the marriage in was it Romanian or something, and they found out later that in fact that was technically a legal marriage.
Hmm.
oh
Wow.
wow,
wow.
Well,
crazy.
the next year I married my boyfriend. So I've actually got 2 husbands that I never divorced.
Wow.
Well, the
All
boyfriend
these
ended up
things we find
dying,
out
but
about each
yeah.
other in these lives. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
My life
Yeah.
seems to pale in comparison now.
Mine too.
Well, my actual wedding was a disaster. A
Yeah.
disaster. Because, okay, story time. My I have an older cousin. She's probably, I think, like 8 or 9 years older than me. And she had a husband. And so we kind of grew up. He was almost like more of an uncle kind of deal to my other cousin's only a year younger than me.
Mhm.
Well, I'll skip the bad parts, or at least with me. But when she turned 18, he left his wife, my older cousin, for
Oh
her,
no.
and they moved in together. Well, she was my best friend in the world, and so she was my maid of honor. And so I talked to my older cousin. I'm like, I want you to be at the wedding, but you got to promise you're not going to start anything, right? Like, just
Yeah.
ignore. and he was not allowed because he did something to me that I might talk about at a later date, but he was not allowed to be there. So they came, and everything went smoothly through the wedding until we got to the reception, and I was getting ready to throw the bouquet, right? So all the single ladies kind of run up there. Well, of course, my older cousin's single now because her husband's sleeping with my younger cousin. But my younger cousin would not get up and go to catch the bouquet. So my older cousin looks at her and was like, "Well, what's wrong? Don't you want to come catch the bouquet to marry my husband?" It was something like that. She runs out in tears. Kirsten runs out in tears. I get in an argument. My husband stepped on my wedding dress and ripped it, and it was just a big old freaking mess. It was awful. But so yeah, so like when Alan and I get married, I honestly don't want a big wedding. Like I don't want.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why, Stace.
I know, right? Yeah. We're probably planning on throwing a big party, after the fact, and we'll probably live stream it. I don't mind. A lot of people's asked if we could live stream it, but
yeah.
But we don't know. It just depends. He's got to come over and get settled. We got to get an apartment and a car, or and do all that, and then we'll probably do a big to do.
How's the job hunt
going? So yeah, I mean, I swore I'd never get married again, but when I met him, I was like, "You're going to be my husband."
I swore I'd never get married again too, but I seriously got married the day after my divorce. Not even joking.
Did you really?
24 hours later.
What?
I was with TJ for.
I swore I would not get married, but my divorce took a year and a half, y'all, and it was awful.
Yeah, mine took
it
a
was
while.
Absolutely awful.
That's okay. I was just marriage on the piece of paper. Yeah.
And we had been separated for a long time before that. That was just the actual divorce. But it took a year and a half of me being in court a couple of times a week, every week for a year and a half. Right. Yeah, it was terrible. I paid over $13,000 on my part, and he paid. He didn't pay actually. His was about the same, but he filed bankruptcy and didn't pay his lawyer.
Weasel.
No.
Yeah, he's
figures.
But so anyway, the divorce got over with we signed off on it completely at about 5:30, 5:45 on a Friday. And I got married at 9:30 the next morning. When I left,
don't let any grass grow between your toes.
Yeah.
I felt bad because it was like 3 months for me between marriages.
Yeah.
Well,
mine dragged on for a while too.
My divorce
was like, that you can't get married to anybody in the state of Oklahoma for 6 months, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she said, do I assume that you're going to be getting married to someone out of the state of Oklahoma before then? I said, tomorrow morning, actually, we've got it all set up. I said, I gotta go. I've got to pack.
Oh wow.
It took 3 years for my divorce to go through.
Oh my goodness.
It was just the way it was set up.
Well,
you had to have specific, it had to be abuse, adultery, or you had to wait out 3 years. So
my goodness.
I waited out 3 years, and in the interim, I met the chef, and we moved in together, and we were living together for 2 years while we waited for my divorce to go through.
This is funny. Well, first Kim says Liz Taylor wannabe, and then she comes back. She's on a roll today. I mean, Kim is on it.
Yeah.
And then she says, you all make me glad I'm single as a Pringle.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Nicole how she's feeling about being single right about now.
Yeah.
He was reading my mind.
My divorce.
We've got about 16 spouses between us, Nicole.
and I don't have. I've got 0, so yeah.
Not all our exes live in Texas, so.
What about Stace? Are you married or divorced or anything exciting?
No marriages, no divorces. Single and We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm with her. We're on the same. Yeah.
That's why she's still smiling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why she's so damn happy.
She is. I know.
My oldest
Aw.
sister is not divorced from her husband, but they haven't been together for over 30 years.
Oh
And
my gosh.
why bother getting a divorce
Her
and
oldest
not
sister.
getting married again? And she's perfectly
Yeah.
happy. But she's
Who's
a
this?
cat.
Your sister?
This is
Yeah,
my
her
oldest
sister.
sister. She's 80 and she
Oh.
still runs her own business.
Oh wow.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
bless her.
For her.
Wow. Good for her.
Joel.
And my
Now
other
Joel.
sister
If we could all marry
is
Alan or
also
Joel, we'd
single
have it made.
and a cat lady, and she works for my older sister.
Joel says, I'm happy to say that I've only been married once, still married, still happy. She puts up with me. I'm a lucky man. I think she's a lucky woman too. I am still like, I've been like
Yep.
giving Mark the side eye over the whole thing where you bought her that locket and all this. You know, I've been, you know, he needs to come
Yeah,
on here and
Joel.
just listen to Joel
Did
talk,
her?
you know?
Oh, Joel's one of the good ones. He is.
But for
Yeah.
Easter, Alan sent me 48 Cadbury eggs.
I saw that. I
48.
was like, oh my
48?
God.
How many was in that box?
Is
They
that
were
a
48
special
48
number
in the
for you
box.
guys?
Wow.
Wow.
Is that a special
Poor
number
husband.
for you guys?
No, it just came in a 48 pack.
It
You
just
know how
came in a
they
pretty
why not make it a 50 pack? Like, why not make it a 50 pack? That was so dumb.
Right.
No, but I love them. And so he like orders a whole case of them. I mean, that's like a case you know,
It
grocery
is.
stores get. And so
Listen-
yeah, they're in a big Ziploc freezer bag because I like to freeze them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is what
I
Mark
like that.
does. He gets me candy bars and lays it on my desk, which I
Oh.
think is very sweet.
That
I
is
think he's
sweet.
trying to keep me fat, but you know, keeps me
That's
fat and
what I'm,
happy.
that's what I'm saying.
I get accused of that all the time. You just want to keep
Yeah.
me fat. I say, well, that way nobody else will want you, baby.
Yeah. By the way, how
It
much?
usually doesn't go
So,
over
John,
very
how
well.
much weight? How much weight have you lost, John? You've lost some weight lately.
Well, they put me on that soft food diet about a month and a half before
Mhm.
the surgery, and then with the surgery, I've still been kind of on it. I've lost almost 35 pounds in the last
Wow.
almost 3 months.
What? Congratulations. Wow.
Well, yeah, it's a blessing
Is
and a
that-
curse.
I
I'm
mean, is
starting
that
to look
what
my
you-
age now, though. I'm starting to get the saggy skin.
Isn't that something?
I
Yeah.
had food poisoning last week, and I don't know how much I lost because I didn't weigh myself. But I feel your pain. I'm like, why does this have to get more
yeah, you get
jiggly
the,
than lose
getting the
weight?
turkey
Yeah.
leg going on.
Oh,
I
I've
look like
already
a,
got that.
Right?
I don't
Like
like
when you're
this at my age.
when you're
Get
fat,
these
your
guys.
skin is stretched, it's shiny, you look young, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you lose it all, it
I
just
get fire robes too.
right. When you
You
lose it
get
all, it just
that
starts to
gaffer
hang
tape,
and
you know? You get the gaffer tape that they use on film sets and just tape and pull
Just do
back.
that.
Yeah.
take the turkey.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
People do
That's
that.
the
I'm a
one.
movie star now.
Instant facelift. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta do the kissy
look-
lip.
You look very
Gotta
Asian.
sing.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Who said that? I was thinking the same thing.
When I laugh, I swallow my eyes. You can't see my eyes, or when I'm
Yeah,
stoned. But I do have they're there.
You have those eyes and googly
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to those again.
Funny
John
story
missed
to
all
tell you
that.
about Asian
Uh-oh.
eyes.
Okay.
Okay, this
I
is
didn't
my
know.
favorite story.
Was predominantly Italian and Chinese.
Uh-huh.
And my youngest sister, when my brother's friends would come over, would sit and do this. And
Mhm.
finally, one of them said, "What's going on with your sister? Is she like racist?"
Yeah.
He went, "No, she just wants eyes like yours."
It's like
Oh,
Listen, I have been called or asked what my nationality is, and they have picked every single nationality. And then there was a rumor about my grandfather, who his father was, that had some different ethnicity. And so I finally did the 23andMe DNA test. I was like, I want to be as exotic as everybody thinks I am.
Yeah.
Fuck no, I am fucking whiter than snow. I am like I am a Caucasian as Caucasian can get. I
Asian?
am I'm Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and I don't know. I guess English. I don't know what, but that kind of all falls under England area. I have a tiny bit trace. I have like a tiny bit trace of African DNA, but it's so tiny. It's like just a 0.07 or something. 1% Native American, and then I do have a tiny bit in with Eastern European. So, but that's like so far back. The percentages. I'm like, it was 96 honky. Sorry.
96 monkey.
96% as white can get. Where did I get my features? Like if I tan like you would not believe. And where did my facial features come from? The eyes, which everybody asked me if I was Asian. It is a little racist. I don't mean to be. I'm just saying this is what they were saying back then. And they picked out other features on my face, and well, that looks like that. Now, no, I am so white. Like,
Yeah,
I was disappointed. I was
You're
like,
as pure as the driven snow.
I'm like, I was looking boring. Like, give me something exciting. I was hoping to find like a long lost sister or something in Brazil, and my family was down there. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm like, I just am who I am. Olive
That's
skin,
funny,
dark hair. I don't know.
That's funny because I always wanted to ask you if you had any Native American in you, because I think you have Native American features.
Yeah,
I really do.
I have Native American friends, like literally that lives on the reservation in South Dakota, and we would go on TikTok together all the time live, and everybody would just assume that I was because she was, and we were friends, or what, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
no, it's weird. The genetics are weird because you think about it. Listen, my mom looks exactly like her dad. I look exactly like my mom, and my girls look exactly like me. The DNA of the facial features is that strong, and so it really does crack me up. Also, I have 2% Neanderthal DNA, which or no, wait a minute. I have Neanderthal DNA, and only 2% of the world still have traces of Neanderthal DNA. And I love it.
Rare.
That was great. I'm like, that explains a lot.
He's a cave woman.
And I'm a descendant of one of the 9 hostages. He was an ancient Celtic king. So I am a motherfucking princess. Just wanted to put that out there. I mean,
we already knew that. We didn't need a DNA
that.
test for that.
Yeah,
I can change my name to Your Highness. Your Highness.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
I'm
could
most
be your other name. That could be your other name.
My great grandmother was 100% Native American. My great grandmother was, and my dad, my biological dad, is 100%. Literally, his deal said, he is Belgium. Like, he doesn't have anything but Belgium. So, and I have got like this mismatch because my mom had Irish and of course Native American, but she had Irish and German and all this. So I've got all this little bit of this and little bit of that. It's really strange how it breaks down, because you would think that if somebody was was full this and full that it would do it, but it doesn't.
Real
It's weird.
dominant, but
No, and a lot of
like my daughters, they both have the same mother, the same father, and their DNA is completely different. And I thought that theirs would be like close, like in percentages of what they were. But no, they say that like the fathers can take more, and the mothers can take more on this child, and so it's strange, and that goes back to grandparents and great grandparents and everything too.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was going to say. There's the recessive genes that we carry that don't always come out is just mind boggling. I'm a nerd. You might think I'm like really cool and hip. I'm not. I'm a nerd. I went down the DNA sequencing, the gene sequencing rabbit hole a while back, and I try to watch anything I can about it. It's just fascinating.
oh yeah.
To see, and there is a lot of recessive genes. Now, with all the medical diagnosis that I've got diagnosed with, are hereditary, And so I've had to tell my girls, and I've just really crazy stuff from having extremely rare tumor removed to AK. Marilee, can you say that word? AS. I mean, or I don't know, the thing that me and your son-in-law shared.
Anclia. Oh, I can't.
Is it spondylitis? Okay, can never say that. Oh God, what was the other one? Was I'm missing one. That one weird one with my blood. Oh, hemochromatosis. So anyway, all those things are like hereditary. I've had to tell my girls about. And then I was talking to my doctor. I said, "What the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I getting all these weird, rare disease, rare thingies coming out in me?" Because she was really good. She did a lot of medical DNA sequencing that caught all this because we couldn't figure out what was going on with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she told me that she said we can carry those recessive genes generation after generation after generation. And then it could come out. I mean, you think about Queen Victoria and the whole hemophilia thing, where some of them had it and some of them didn't, and that just blows my mind. But what she told me is a lot of the autoimmune diseases and things like that can be dormant in your system until you go through some kind of trauma or physical or mental trauma, and then it brings it all out. So she said a lot of people, are running around with these possible genetic disorders, or these, and it'll may come out, it may not come out, and that just fascinates me. Like, who the hell gets picked? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems so random. It really does.
It's like,
absolutely.
fuck you, you're good, fuck you, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I watch a lot of true
too.
crime stuff, and I love the ones where there's just one lady. What's her name? You guys would know her, where she does like reverse genealogy DNA, and she's caught people who've committed crimes like 40 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it's just it's fascinating. And a lot of times what they'll do is let's say I was a suspect. Unbeknownst to me, they're trailing me, they're following me, they're waiting to see for me to go get, let's say, a cup of coffee, something that I'm touching and then I'm discarding, and they go in the trash can, and they get that, and then they get your DNA off of it, and they run it through their systems, and boom.
I think it's so fascinating. And all the true crime part is amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to see when they get the bad guys. I hate the part of, they have to obviously tell the story of the person who was unalive, and what happened, and but I kind of feel like even when we watch those, we're honoring that person, who lost their life, and we get to hear about them, and a lot of times hear from their families. But I love when it's like, they get the person. It's like, thank goodness.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to have to call it a day. We've been on for over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. I was going to joke and say that I was going to call it at 10 hours because I thought 11 was completely obsessive.
Well, what happened
Just
with
do me one favor,
Mischief?
Susie. Just do me one favor. Don't take us in the bathroom with you, please.
No, I'm not going to take you in the bathroom.
We all love you, but not like that.
We're going out. I'm going out like this.
Oh my God, the Google eyes. I could watch that all day long.
My heifer ears.
For those of you, if you know, you know.
No.
You are getting a lot of use out of those googly eyes.
Oh, I know. Those are amazing. I think we should all get some.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Stace, this is my first time meeting you. It's lovely to finally see you.
Yeah, me too.
I know, it's so good. It's nice to see everybody.
These are just
thanks to everybody.
Go to bed.
Thanks to everybody who donated today.
Yeah.
We have our ridiculous chats in the middle of the night. Well, not necessarily in the middle of the night.
I love that hat so much. It's so cool.
I always wake up and catch up on it.
Now, see, Hef likes to say she's not cool. Bullshit.
I know. That's
all of us combined.
I know.
She's the coolest. We know this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
own
weird.
it.
I'm very awkward. I'm awkward, especially on camera. I'm awkward, but
No.
yeah, I'm
I'm
a good
putting it out here right
impersonator.
now. Nerds
You're
can
weird.
be cool
You're
too.
weird in the best way, Stacey.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and take you off of the
Okay.
whatever, off
Okay.
All
camera,
right. Bye,
and I'm gonna talk
everybody.
to the
Nice
Bye,
I'm gonna
spending some
talk to the
everybody.
time with
chat
you.
for just a minute, and then I'll
All
be off
right.
you, and I'll just talk to y'all in the chat later
Bye.
in our mod chat.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
I
everybody.
want to take just a
Bye.
second though, and thank you all so much for doing this because it
Yeah,
just I don't know, I just needed some time with my mods. Does that make any sense? I mean, just we've had
absolutely.
such a rough
Oh,
week
you're
or so
fine.
of,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of hate, and I thought I just want to go have just a fun, little chat and show our members that, this is who we are, and then I'll make it available at, a little later to the regular just subscribers and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted our members to feel a little bit special and have just a little bit of time with us too and get to know us. And so when they know us, when they see us on
Yeah.
our chat or when we're in other people's chats, they'll know who we are.
Yep.
And Stacey, I will get you that information for our new song so that
Yep.
we can have that. I'll get that to you later today, I promise, in
It's
just a
gonna
little
be
bit.
Cool. I
fun.
can work on it tomorrow then.
So, okay. All right. Well, I love you guys, and I'm going to let you go, and then I'm
All
going
right.
to say bye to the chat. So,
All
talk
right.
to you
All
guys
right. Bye
later.
bye.
Bye.
Takes me a minute to skim around here. Okay, so they have gone now, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that was here today and joined us. I appreciate it so much. We have so much fun in our little mod chat, and I have the absolute best mods ever, 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 ever. And I do share some with both Marilyn and Sammy, so they have figured out, which I did steal a couple of Marilyn's from her too. I mean, like I said, hey, come over here, come over here. So anyway, they're great and I love them. And I just hope that you all know that you can, if you have a problem with anything, you can go to any of my mods. They will get a hold of me if they need to or whatever, but they are the greatest. And I wanted you all to have a little chance to see what I see. So I'm going to go. I've got shows to get ready for this coming week and very, very excited. So be watching for those shows to come up. I was supposed to have one with a certain sister was supposed to have a live today, but just wasn't quite feeling up to it. So, she will probably be here someday this week though. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. We appreciate you so much and we will see you probably tomorrow. Bye bye.